All right, welcome to our live webinar this evening, How to Stop the Agony of Ineffective Marketing. My name's Carl Willis. I'm a marketing strategist with Simplicity Marketing LLC, and I'm joined by Julie Dubuc, and I'm going to let her introduce herself and kick us off for the evening.
Hi, I'm Julie Dubuc, and I am a business coach for mid-size and small business here with you tonight, and especially around the topic of marketing owners. It's kind of a mystery. How do you do this marketing thing? And so let's start with the problem. A lot of we marketing too. We take our product and our service to all kinds of people that we know. These aren't always end users of our product. So we got people who really adore us and care about us, but they aren't necessarily our. To top it off, we start to make offers. And those offers go to people at the offer in the wrong place. And then a little bit further, we start to get some traffic on our social media and on our website, but we have no of that information. So that's really what we're here to talk about tonight. Are you ready?
I'm ready. So part of what we want to get into is oftentimes people treat marketing like the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And the reality is, just because you build a social media profile or you build a website or you write a blog post or you make a video doesn't mean that the audience that it's intended for is ever going to see it. And so many business owners are dealing with the pain of ineffective marketing. So they have websites with no traffic. They have social media accounts that have no following. They're putting out content that nobody is seeing. And so what we want to delve into tonight is how to put a stop to that ineffective marketing. And so we're going to spend the next 60, maybe even close to 90 minutes going over some concepts with you. And I'm getting ready to switch screens here, so pardon me as I'm looking down, that are going to help you overcome the obstacles of ineffective marketing when those things, strike, or if you find yourself feeling a little stuck with your marketing. That's what we want to take you through. Now, what I'm going to tell you is the information I'm about to give you tonight, clients pay thousands of dollars for. In fact, some of this training that I've learned, some of these skills and concepts, I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on. And so you're getting a lot of gold nuggets tonight. So you're going to want to grab your notepad, you want to grab a pen, and you want to get comfortable and take some notes. I've got my coffee cup here. So I'm ready to go as we roll along. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to screen sharing. And that way you can take a look at my screen. Let me get switched over here. And what I've entitled this presentation tonight is Eliminating Your Competition. And that sounds a little mean, if you will. But the reality is, when it comes to our marketing, we really have to break through and get past the other competitors in the marketplace. And so let me get switched over here. And we'll go into screen sharing mode. All right, and Julie, you can tell me if we get into the slideshow here. Are you able to see my screen? All right. So what I've said is we're going to entitle this Eliminating Your Competition. And the first thing that I'm going to say to you is probably the most important thing I'm going to say to you. And that is, if you don't take massive action, everything that we're going to share with you this evening is going to be worthless. Okay, so even though I can fill your head with information, Julie can fill your head with information, we can give you a lot of good nuggets. If you don't take massive action on the things that we are going to present to you tonight, then you're going to find yourself struggling. And let me say this, the reason that people often don't take action is because of the perceived cost. And let me remind you that the cost of taking the wrong action or not taking action at all is greater than any cost you'll incur by taking immediate action. So that's important. So here's what we're going to cover. What you're about to learn is how to generate leads for your business online. And what we're going to focus on specifically this evening is online funnels, online marketing process, online lead generation. I'm going to talk to you about how to convert your tire kickers or your window shoppers into action takers or registered buyers. How to position yourself in front of your avatar. How to create residual marketing that lasts for years. How to make your brand inescapable, and how to dominate your competition, even on a shoestring budget. Now, one of the things that Julie just spoke about is the fact that people often find their marketing ineffective for three key reasons, and I want to recap those for just a moment. First and foremost, above and beyond anything else, is a lack of a clearly defined target. If you don't know who you're speaking to, if you don't know what their felt needs are, if you don't know what their perceived pain points are, you're going to have a difficult time communicating with them. There's something I want you to write down, and it's a simple statement. Communication equals wealth. Let me say that again. Communication equals wealth. Your ability to communicate to your clearly defined audience will translate into greater sales and greater revenue in your business. The second piece of this is issues with the buying cycle. Are you speaking to your audience at the wrong time with the wrong message? So, for example, if your prospect is in research mode and you're already hitting them with the offer to make a decision, then you may find your marketing becomes ineffective. You're not matching your message to your marketplace. And then finally, multiple engagements. Oftentimes, business owners don't follow through. They don't have a mechanism to follow up. What we find with marketing messages is it typically takes 7 exposures to that marketing message before a buying decision is made. So if you don't have a mechanism to put those exposures into place, you're going to create an ineffective marketing situation. So those are some of the things we're going to tackle in our time together this evening. And again, I want to thank you for taking your time out to spend with Julie and I. It means a lot to us that you value what we can bring to the table for you today. So let's get into some talks and some thoughts about marketing. You know, traditional ways of prospecting are changing. The things we do traditionally or have done traditionally, we're finding are not as effective as they once were. And I'm going to go through some things that you may chuckle when you see them because you know what I'm talking about. First and foremost, the yellow pages. I opened a financial advisory firm in 2001, in June of 2001. One of my primary marketing pieces was my yellow pages ad. Now, back in those days, you had land-wired phones, and the yellow pages was still something people used, but that day has gone past. So it's not an effective mechanism for driving traffic, for driving revenue, for driving sales, simply because the flow of society has moved beyond the yellow pages. Some people still use them to sit kids on at holiday dinner, but other than that, it's not highly used. Next thing that we see is TV and radio commercials. And the challenge that TV and radio are dealing with, in fact, I was with a client today who is canceling their radio advertising. They were spending $900 a month on radio ads, and as they were tracking where their phone calls came from, they could not find any business that was really being generated from the radio ad. And here's the reason why. Now, with so many choices, I'm sitting here in my home office with my MP3 player on my phone. I was listening to music before we came on, but it's all on my Amazon account. So I'm not hearing any commercials. I listen to audiobooks in my car. If I've got satellite radio or my iPod or my CDs in, I'm never going to hear those radio commercials. And studies are showing us that often a radio station may have a listening audience at any given time of sometimes 100 people or barely above that, which is pretty surprising. Well, television's dealing with the same thing. I disconnected my cable 7 years ago. I've either used a Roku box or an Amazon Fire box. Now, they're starting to bring advertising into those areas, but I don't have to watch it. And so the challenge is, where do I grab the attention of people who are most likely to do business with me? And see, we've been in what we call a push advertising mentality for so many years, where what I'm going to do is interrupt you with a marketing message and hope it sticks. And the way that I make it stick is I just bombard you constantly with it. And so that's the way TV and radio have traditionally worked. Well, then you also had newspaper ads. Now, you're going to laugh because you've seen me. I don't have any hair anymore, but you go back 15, 16 years ago, this was me. I had a financial advisory office in Great Bend, Kansas. And besides the yellow pages, my other primary marketing tool was newspaper ads every day. I paid about $500 or $600 every couple of weeks for those ads. And they brought business because people were still reading the newspaper then. Not so much anymore, right? Well, then we move on to things like networking events. Still highly effective. We meet through networking and social activities. But the challenge with networking is there's only so many networking events you can go to. And sometimes the challenge is you go to multiple networking events only to see the same people you've seen at every other networking event you've been to. And so you're never breaking out of that small circle of people. And then finally, the strongest is referrals. We all love referrals. Our best customers often come from referrals. Julie and I's relationship began through a referral. And so referrals are powerful, but referrals don't come every day. And if you're waiting on referrals to drive your business, you could be waiting a while till you get the next one. And so what we have to do is we have to incorporate leverage. You may have heard of the Archimedes principle. Give me a place to stand and a lever long enough, and I will move the world. If you have the right leverage, you can make a lot of things happen. And so what I'm going to dissect for you is how you can use leverage to have hot prospects 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This is an email account where my lead generation subscribers go into. So I get an email notification every time somebody subscribes to a marketing list. And we'll get into your marketing list here in a few moments because this is really important. Your list is really the gold mine for you. And part of what we're going to deal with to get you past marketing inefficiencies is help you build a thriving list. And once you've got that marketing list built, you get those multiple touches, something magical happens, revenue increases. And everybody would like to see increased revenue. Again, this is another email address that the only notifications I get there is when somebody pays me. And so I love getting those emails. Those of you with brick and mortar businesses, you love hearing your cash register ring. And so what we're getting ready to show you is when you put all these things together, you really can make some magical things happen. Well, let's talk about your marketing. Does this stuff really work? This is one of my clients' accounts. I pulled up their numbers today from November 1st to December 1st, just to let you see something important here. They spent $150.11 to get in front of an audience of 33,928 people, 14,489 of whom engaged with their marketing piece. If you look at their total engagements, they're paying a cost of 1 cent per engagement, and their result rate is 27%. Now, just to put this in perspective, some of you remember the days of direct mail. Some of you may still be doing direct mail. Direct mail on a good campaign will return about a 1% engagement rate if it's structured really well. So part of what I want you to understand is you don't have to have a lot of money to make big splashes with your marketing. One of the things we told you here at the beginning of this presentation is we were going to show you how to do big things even if you were on a small marketing budget. So for $150, $5 a day, this client's message was in front of 34,000 people with over 14,000 engaging that message. That's money well spent, wouldn't you say? A penny per engagement. You can't mail a postcard that cheap. So the way we do this, so you're saying, all right, enough of that. How do you make all of this happen? Well, you have to create what I call a marketing ecosystem for yourself. And so I've put together a slide showing you how the ecosystem works. In the center is your website or your landing page, whatever that focal hub is where you're going to do your selling or your appointment setting or the place where your people are going to come to buy products. Your website is the central hub. All of these other pieces are spokes that are going to feed in to that central hub. And so what I want you to understand with this concept is we're doing online what Coca-Cola does offline. You see, Coca-Cola puts their logo on the backs of trucks. They put their logo in grocery stores, in restaurants. They put them on their bottles. They put them on clothing. They put them at sports fields and all sorts of places so that you are always seeing their brand. So it's always in your mind. Well, we're going to do the same thing with that ecosystem. What we want from your prospect is for you to always be on their mind, for you to become very inescapable to that audience. So let me just explain this ecosystem here for a moment. So you've got your website in the center. Then you have at the top email marketing. So as people come to your website, there's two things that we want to happen. We want people to become a part of your email list. And when they're on your email list, we want to send them back to your website for offers, for content, for information. Next piece we have is video marketing. Video marketing connects with your audience in a way that the written word can't. People can see your expressions, they can hear your voice, they can watch your mannerisms, and they decide through that engagement, do they know, like, and trust you? You see, people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust, and video is a powerful tool. So we move beyond that. When we're in the video, what are we going to do? We're going to send people back to the website, and we're also going to ask them to become a part of that email marketing piece. So now we've got 1, 2, 3 points of connection. Next point of connection is your blog. And the reason blogging is so important is blogging allows you to meet the felt needs and the searches that your prospects are making online. And so each blog post, in a sense, becomes its own miniature website. And so one of the things that we'll do is we'll take that blog, and through that blog, we're going to send people to the website for your offer. We're going to invite them to be on your email list, and we may even embed the video in there. So now we've got 4 points of contact. Well, then we have content marketing. What's content marketing? That's going to be things like press releases and articles. And through your content marketing, what are you going to do? You're going to send people to your website. You're going to invite them to become a subscriber to your mailing list. You're going to show them video pieces. You're going to invite them to read your related blog posts. So now we have a fifth point of contact. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to forums, those communities where our target audience is spending their time, so that we can begin to immerse ourselves in their environment and really determine what's motivating their buying decision and offer value in their search for information. That's our sixth point of contact. Then we have social sharing. Social sharing is where we share with one another. We're places like our Facebooks, our Twitters, our LinkedIns, where we share information we find valuable, videos, pictures. This afternoon, my son got engaged yesterday, so I posted a video congratulating him and his fiance, so that my community, those who are connected with me, can share that information. Then you have your paid advertising, your pay-per-click, your banner ads, your solo ads, other forms of paid advertising. We'll break those down a little more as well. And then finally, you've got your social networks, the LinkedIns, the Twitters, those things. And let me back up. Your social sharing is going to be your bookmarking. Places like StumbleUpon, places like Dig, Reddit, Delicious, where you're alerting other users to valuable content. So let's break these down just a little bit, just in case you're new to the whole ecosystem of internet marketing. I don't want to leave you behind here. So social networks are things like Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Most people are familiar with those. Facebook, by far the largest social community, over 1 billion users. Of those users, 50% log into their account every day. It is a place you must be if you're going to be developing your ecosystem. And let me back up and just say this. When you look at that, you say those are a lot of moving pieces, and they really are. When somebody hires a consultant like me to develop an ecosystem and a funnel for them, that normally is a 5-figure process, $10,000 or more. By the time we put in the email marketing pieces and build the social media accounts and build the website, that can run high dollars. And so that scares a lot of business owners off. But when we get to the end of this presentation tonight, I'm actually going to have a special offer for you that'll reduce that cost for you greatly. And so your social networks, you have Facebook. Twitter, a lot of people ignored until this election, but Donald Trump has brought Twitter back into view once again. But Twitter never went away. Twitter is a micro-blogging site. It is now a video and image sharing site as well. You have to broadcast your thoughts and ideas in 140 characters or less, so it's considered a micro-blogging site. LinkedIn is the professional social network, and why LinkedIn is important to you is the average user on LinkedIn has an income of around $120,000 statistically. So it is a place where you get higher net worth, higher educated, more professional type people. And because they're on LinkedIn, these are people who build networks of their own. And one of the greatest ways to maximize your business quickly is you begin to tap into the audience of people with audiences of their own. LinkedIn is a good place to do that. Social sharing, as I talked before, this is the place where, hey, I find a great piece of content, I find a news story, I find an article that I think the world should see, and I'm going to bookmark it for everyone else. The big ones are Delicious, Dig, Reddit, StumbleUpon. If you're not familiar with StumbleUpon, it's actually one of my favorites. You can submit a web page, a video, or a site, and you categorize what type of interest that site would be for. And then people who use StumbleUpon press a stumble button, and it brings up random websites for the categories of interest. And so when you have your site in there, it exposes you to a lot of people who might not normally be in your audience. And so we can't ignore social sharing. YouTube. YouTube is the most overlooked powerhouse for effective marketing. Here's why. YouTube is owned by Google. And just like any good parent, Google loves its children. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. And what you will find is often you can rank a video faster than you can rank a website, article, or blog post. In fact, one of the strategies that we're going to teach you in Florida during our upcoming retreat that you're going to want to be at is how to use video effectively. In fact, we're going to shoot some videos while we're there to help you get a head start on your marketing. Your blog. The most famous platform is WordPress. It's the most commonly used blogging platform and website platform in the world. Again, blogs are so important because each blog post is treated like an individual website. And so when we are targeting different points of the buying phase, the blog is one of the greatest tools we have at our disposal. Because what happens when somebody's making a buying decision, normally they're going to start to research terms like reviews, complaints, best prices, lowest prices, special offers, discounts, coupons. There are what I call buyer words that people are looking for. And so we can easily match up a blog post to those buyer words. Content marketing. It's where you're posting articles to an article directory. eZine Articles is the largest article directory in the world, the most known. And what this does is it really gets you out there as an expert and authority in your field, because not only do I want to work with people I know, like, and trust, but I want to work with the very best at what they do. And publishing articles is one of the ways that you can quickly distinguish yourself as a recognized expert and authority in your field. Then we come into forums. These are communities of people with common interests. So, for example, in the real estate investing world, BiggerPockets is one of the largest forums where real estate investors go for information, recommendations, and to ask questions. So forums are a place that you need to have in your ecosystem. Finally, there's paid advertising. Paid advertising comes in many forms. There's Google AdWords, pay-per-click. There's Bing and Yahoo pay-per-click. There's Facebook pay-per-click. Retargeting, which, to explain that for you very quickly, those of you who have gone on Amazon looking at something for Christmas and gone back to Facebook only to see that item in your news feed, you've just been retargeted. That's what retargeting is all about. Amazon has product ads. Blog ads is out there, many other advertising mediums out there. So all of these things go into your ecosystem, and what we're ultimately doing is we're creating a spider web for your audience. And I want you to think about how a spider web works. The moth flies into the spider web and its nose gets stuck. And so it starts flapping its wings and its right wing gets stuck. And it starts flapping its left wing and it gets stuck. And then its feet get stuck. The more contacts you have, the more effective your marketing will be. As I said in the beginning, on average, it takes 7 exposures to your marketing message before a buying decision is made. So I want you to think about that ecosystem. If I've come to your website, I've got a connection. If I'm on your Facebook page, I've got a second connection. If I go to your YouTube channel, I've got a third connection. If I read your blog post, I've got a fourth connection. If I click on your ad, I've got a fifth connection. If I read your article, I've got a sixth connection. If I go to your social bookmark, I've got a seventh connection. If I'm on your email list, I have an eighth connection. Every time you email me, I've got yet another connection. And so what we're going to do is we're going to speed up the pace of those connections using the internet. So let's talk about your marketing funnel, because this is the real strategy. This is the real key to making things happen. Your marketing funnel has several components to it. Number one, it's going to start with cold traffic. I don't even know you exist, so somehow you've got to make me aware you're out there. That's going to happen through your advertising or your video or your blog post or whatever it is. And once I'm aware you're there, the next phase of that funnel is I want you to become a lead. And I'm going to do that through branding. I'm going to invite you to connect with me on social media. I'm going to invite you to get on my email list. I'm going to invite you to be a subscriber to my YouTube channel. That's going to bring you to the next level of relationship. You're no longer a lead, you're now a prospect. We're beginning to interact. We're beginning to engage. You're beginning to know who I am and know about me. The know, like, and trust factor is beginning to grow, at which point you are going to move to the place of becoming a customer. We're going to transact business together. And once you've become my customer, the relationship doesn't stop because we're connected on all these other points. What's going to happen is you're going to become my advocate. And you begin to make those referrals we talked about earlier. And once a person begins to refer, they're no longer just a customer or an advocate. What they really are is they're a team member. And so this is how we're going to build that business, how we're going to get beyond ineffective marketing is we're going to use a funnel to automate this process. And so this is where we get into the strategy. Strategy is defined as a plan of action designed to achieve a particular goal. Let me say that again. It's a plan of action designed to achieve a particular goal. So how do we fill the funnel? Well, let's get into some strategy here. We're going to use our social media to fill the funnel. For this webinar, many of you saw an ad on Facebook that said how to stop the agony of ineffective marketing. It gave you the opportunity to say, I'm interested, I'm coming, or I'm not coming. So we used our social media to do that. Posted out on Twitter and other places. Content marketing is a way to fill that funnel. Content marketing has been one of my primary go-tos. In fact, my two favorites are these two middle pieces, content marketing and video marketing. And the reason I like content marketing is I can match up the information you're looking for in a search. So for example, let's say you're looking at buying a Toyota Camry, and what you're looking for is safety reviews. So what I could do is create an article, 1,000 to 2,000 words, on Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016. And what's going to happen is I'm going to get people who are looking for that specific amount of information. And through that content, they're going to become aware that I'm out there. And in that article, I'm going to invite them, if you'd like more reviews on 2016 vehicles, become a subscriber of my email list and like my page on Facebook. So now I'm going to move them into that place of being a lead and then into being a prospect. Content marketing is powerful, one of my favorite things to do, but I like to repurpose things. And so what I will do with a piece of content is I'll then share it on social media. So it becomes a social media feeder into the funnel. And then I'll repurpose it into video marketing, and I'll make a video on that same topic. So now there would be a social media post on Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016. There'd be a blog post, Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016. That blog post would get repurposed into an article, Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016. It would be repurposed into a PDF on a PDF sharing site, Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016. And then we create a video, Toyota Camry Safety Review 2016, with the same information, same calls to action. And then finally, if I wanted some top end to it, we'd run a paid ad campaign, running that advertising into that piece of content for even more traction. And so now we'd have four, actually more than four, because of how we would repurpose. We'd have about 5, 6, or 7 sources of traffic coming into this funnel. So we're going to go through larger numbers quicker, not having to wait around for something to happen, but making something happen. So let me give you some live examples of this at work. The first one is out of my real estate business. This is part of how I turn cold traffic into leads. One of the groups that I'm looking for is burnout landlords, people who own rental properties but don't want to manage them anymore. They're burnt out with tenants and toilets. And so my ad for them in cold traffic is this actual graphic: tired of being a landlord. And so what I'm looking for is people who are burnt out. That's their pain point. Yes, I'm tired of being a landlord. I don't know what to do about it. And so what I'm going to ask for is an exchange of information. This is the lead capture form. Now, this one is a lead capture form that I use with the marketing company. And so I'm asking them, in return for your name and your email, I'm going to give you access to this training. Those of you who registered for this webinar, you went through this exact process. Julie and I would like to present some valuable marketing information to you on Tuesday the 20th, but in exchange, we need your contact information so we can keep you informed. Now, I also gave you a bonus offer for doing that, that when you registered for the webinar, as soon as you registered, you also had the opportunity to download a free report for Facebook marketing, which puts you into a Facebook marketing funnel. Okay, so part of this is a live exercise for you to see how this works simply by going through my funnel. And what that does, once you've exchanged your information, once that prospect has given you their contact information, they are now part of your marketing list. So this is one of my marketing lists. It has about 4,700 subscribers in a particular niche. And so anytime I want to send an offer, anytime I post a new video, a new blog post, anytime I have a webinar coming up or a seminar coming up, I can immediately send an email out to these 4,700 people. They've already connected with me. They already know who I am. They're already familiar with me. They've already given me permission to send them an email. They can unsubscribe at any time if they no longer want it. And so through that, I'm able to build a relationship with them. So you can see, here's a couple of things where I sent out some broadcasts. And so you can, the autoresponder that we set up shows you how many people have opened it, how many people have clicked, how many of those bounced. I can go into the stats. I can see what links they've clicked on. I can see who opened the emails, who didn't open the emails, how many times they've opened the emails. If I wanted to, this list where 66 people opened the email, I could send an email specifically to them. And by doing that, not only are we building the relationship, but we're turning tire kickers into buyers, because I can begin to see who's responding most to these touches. Now, one of the things that we're going to do for you in Florida at our retreat, our workshop, is we're going to actually help you set up an autoresponder. So you've got this working in your business as well. Again, this is something that normally if we do it for clients, put in a follow-up series, create the lead capture pages, this can run upwards of $5,000 to put this together. So it's not an invaluable service when we do it for our clients. And so this is one of those things that we're going to introduce to you in Florida and put together for you as well. So how do we turn leads into prospects? Well, it all begins with taking action now. So one of the things that I do, again, back to my real estate business, is I turn leads into prospects by giving them a confidential offer. Now, to get that confidential offer, they have to click the button below and fill out the form. And that's how I actually find properties for the real estate business. So what I want to show you is this works regardless of the type of business you're in. If you're in a business where you are transacting with people, you need them to make a buying or a selling decision or anything of that nature, this process works. And that's why we wanted to introduce it to you tonight. It's going to create just massive amounts of momentum for you, but the important thing is it's momentum with the right people. Because you could spend all day long with window shoppers and tire kickers and never make a sale. What we want is for you to spend the time with the people who are going to be the most profitable for you to spend that time with. And so that's what we're doing. See, the key for you here is this. Convinced prospects become satisfied clients. Mm-hmm. And satisfied clients create referrals and new business. And that's how you begin to develop this overwhelming tidal wave, this tsunami, if you will, of marketing effectiveness. The term that I want to use is a military term. It's shock and awe, an overwhelming presence. In fact, this came out of the book Shock and Awe by Ullman and Wade. Impose this overwhelming level of shock and awe against an adversary on an immediate or sufficiently timely basis to paralyze its will to carry on. To seize control of the environment and paralyze or so overload an adversary's perceptions and understanding of events that the enemy would be incapable of resistance at the tactical and strategic levels. And you go, well, what's that all about? Again, we want to overwhelm the competition. Every one of us out here has competition. And so part of what I have to do is I have to be more proactive than my competition is. I need to be more visible than my competition is. Greatest compliment I ever get from prospects is, you know what? I see you everywhere I go. And that's what I want to hear. That means that everything is in the right place. Well, the next step we want to get into is monetization. And I'm going to take this off screen sharing, and Julie's going to pick up from there.
Monetization, 3 different core offer. The second is your related products and services, and then your unrelated products and services. So your core offer may be the primary of your business. Primary function is a coaching and consulting relationship. A related product or service that I can offer an MBTI workshop or a workshop on neurolinguistics. An unrelated product or service, something outside, such as a webinar or a book, another product that kind of relates to the coaching relationship with me. So when you place those off and where you place them is really critical, and you don't have it timed just right. It can absolutely cause you to not get that you're trying to attract. Okay, Carl.
All right. Yeah, what do we want to cover here with you too? You've heard us talk a little bit about this upcoming retreat that we have, and so I want to switch back to screen share and just kind of walk you through that, because this is really limited to a handful of people. Julie and I were talking about where should we hold this workshop, and a couple things came to mind. Number one, I had just prepared to leave for Cozumel the week we started talking about this, and so the idea of being somewhere warm during February sounded really good. But the other reason we felt like this was important is sometimes if we don't get out of our environment, it's hard to make breakthroughs. And so everything I've taught you tonight and that Julie has taught you tonight, if your mindset is not tuned in, if it's not dialed in, if you've got garbage thinking and limiting beliefs, you're going to struggle with your marketing regardless of the infrastructure, regardless of the tactics. And so what we want to deal with during our time together in Florida is both the technical aspects of driving your business forward, but we also want to deal with the personal development, the stuff that goes on between your ears. Because if we get one right and we don't deal with the other, we can end up dropping the ball on the whole thing. So let's talk a little bit about Florida, and we want to invite you to join us in Florida in February. So I'm going to go back to screen sharing here, if you'll bear with me just a moment.
You know, Carl, and I'm going to jump in. We're really excited about this Florida color here I'd like to share, which says, when one door closes, another, the closed door, that we do not see the one which has been opened for us. And I would say with your business, with so extra set of eyes and just a small adjustment in your thinking and what you're looking at that makes open that door for your business this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So here's what we want to get into. So get your calendar out. We're looking at February 21st through 25th of this next year in Orlando, Florida. And this is broken into two pieces. And so I want to present both of these pieces to you because one is a lot more intense, more in depth, going to be doing a lot more hands-on. The other is just, it's in depth and it's intense, but we're not going to be doing some of the technical things that we'll be doing in the first section here. So the first thing we want to talk about, this is the thing that everybody should be a part of, is the workshop. And that's February 24th and 25th in Orlando. And we're going to focus on a couple of things here. Number one, getting clear on your outcomes. A lot of business owners we find aren't clear on what they really want. In fact, Julie and I will sit down with clients often and ask, what is it that you really want? What's the end result that you're after here? And you watch their eyes kind of glaze over and you can see all the wheels turning, but they've never really gotten clear on it. So one of the things that we're going to use this time away to do is to help you get really clear on your outcome. What is it that you're looking to achieve? How do you intend to get there? What does it take to get there? So for example, a lot of people tell you when you talk to them and they got big dreams, what do you want to do? I want to earn $1 million. Okay, you want to do that in a year, right? Yeah, I want to do that in a year. Well, have you thought about what that takes per day, what that takes per hour? And so you walk them backwards and help them understand that on a 40-hour work week, working 50 weeks a year, you need to earn about $500 an hour for 40 hours to make that happen. So what value are you able to put in the marketplace in exchange for that type of rate? So this is part of what we're going to do. We're going to help you figure out what those outcomes are. If there's a financial target, if there's a lifestyle target, if there's a business target, help you get really clear on that. Second thing we're going to do is we're going to help you shift your paradigm. Often you've been looking through the lens of a business owner dealing with the tyranny of the urgent, and you begin to miss things that other people see. And so we want to help you shift your paradigm so you're seeing the entire landscape and not just looking with tunnel vision. We're going to work with you to attract what you want in your life, in your business, in your relationships. We're going to help you shatter hangups with money. It's interesting. So many entrepreneurs have money issues. They have a horrible relationship with money. And what will end up happening is you as a business owner can actually end up sabotaging your financial well-being just because of mental hangups with money. We're going to help you design the life you've been dreaming of, and then we're going to help you overcome obstacles and barriers. Now, this is a personal development weekend, and so normally personal development coaching, if you look out in the marketplace, runs about $5,000 for a personal development weekend. Now, I personally have paid anywhere from about $2,000 up to about $12,000 for a weekend worth of personal development coaching. Communications coaching, normally that runs about $2,000. We're going to be putting that in as well. Persuasion and influence coaching, that's about a $3,000 session there that we're going to put in as well. So the value on this particular 2-day block of time is $10,000. But we're going to make that available to you today for $997. Greatly reduced price. So you'll see a button below the video. Says register now for the Florida Mastermind Weekend, or the Accelerate Your Business Weekend, I believe is what it says. When you click on that, that's going to take you to a PayPal link where you'll make a $250 deposit. If we have your deposit by January 15th, then we will hold a space for you. If we don't have a deposit, obviously we're not going to hold a space. So it's important that you make that deposit now. Just remember, space is limited here, so you're going to want to act quickly. The second piece of our experience in Florida, though, is for those of you that need to go a little deeper. And this is the VIP experience. And so what we're going to do in that VIP experience is we're going to create the very marketing funnel we just talked about in our presentation tonight. We're going to create branded social media profiles that fit into that marketing funnel. We're going to automate the social media pieces so that you're not having to take multiple actions in multiple places, but you can trigger a chain reaction with one action. Then we're going to get into more personal development time, shattering limiting beliefs. We're going to help you identify what your points of self-sabotage are. Each participant in the VIP experience is going to do a 1-hour hypnosis session with Julie for personal breakthrough. And each participant is going to do a 1-hour marketing session, strategy session with me as part of that time frame as well. Then on the 23rd, we're going to take the day off and go to Disney. And so you've got a day pass to Disney, and then we're going to do a VIP dinner and mixer with a guest speaker coming in to talk to you about how to think beyond your present circumstances. So for the VIP experience, we have very limited space, so it's important that you take action now. The funnel setup value is $10,000. To build a website or a blog is $3,000 in value. Autoresponder setup is $1,500 in value. Social media setup is $1,000 in value, and a personal breakthrough coaching session is $5,000. So your total real world value of just these 2 days is $20,000, $500. But today we're going to offer that to you for $2,997, and you will get the rest of the experience, the 2-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, included in that. So you won't be required to pay any additional. It's $29.97 for that entire time block, the 21st through the 25th. There is a button at the very bottom of the page you're watching this webinar on for the VIP experience. When you go to that page, you're going to be asked to make a $500 deposit. It needs to be in by January the 15th. That will reserve your space in this VIP experience. Again, space is extremely limited, first come, first serve, so those who move quickest will be the ones who will be assured space at the table. Now, based on the responses, we will finalize our venue. We are in negotiation with a couple of venues in Orlando, but we needed to see what our head counts were going to look like. So we will formalize that as soon as we see how many people have reserved their place. Now, there's some extra bonuses that we're throwing in for you as well. I'm going to offer all of my digital courses to you as part of this package. One of these courses is a Facebook marketing workshop, an all-day workshop that I did with Beth Wood from ICT Tech a few years ago, where we talk about every aspect of Facebook marketing. There is also the Marketing Classroom, which is my A to Z course on internet marketing. Any strategy that I could ever teach you, I show you how to do over my shoulder in that course. There is also a Build Your Blog Now course teaching you how to build websites on WordPress. And then finally, Crazy About SEO, how to search engine optimize your content and your websites so they rank quickly. Real world value on those courses is approximately $1,500. I'm going to throw that in for you as an added bonus when you register today. So that offer is good for today only. If you register tomorrow, you register later this week, that offer will no longer be there. However, the prices on the Florida experience will be exactly the same. With that being said, we look forward to spending the time with you in Orlando. It's so much that we covered here in just an hour, and you may have felt like you were drinking through a fire hydrant. That'll be the great thing about our VIP experience. We'll be breaking this down piece by piece as we build your marketing ecosystem with you. And so, Julie, I'm going to take the screen off of share and kick it back to you.
Orlando is going to be a really, really great experience. And one of the things that's very powerful coaching, so many times business owners are stuck. They're just stuck in home to a spouse or significant other that's thinking that maybe it's time that they just get a job. And there's a lot of, and they'll solve so simply just by taking the time to marketing in the beginning of the year and really take your whole business over the top. Eliminate those limiting beliefs. It can make a huge difference, and really excited to work with you in Orlando. We're really excited to see your businesses grow.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you in Orlando. If you've got questions, connect with us on Facebook. You can also leave your questions in the comment box below this webinar. And certainly you can connect with Julie and I on Facebook, on our social media accounts. Give us a phone call, visit our websites. But we thank you for taking your time out to spend with us. We wish you the best as you spend the remainder of this week getting ready for holiday company and activities, and hope you have a great night tonight. Julie, anything else you want to add?
Nope. We look forward to seeing you in sunny Orlando. A couple great days.
All right. Have a great night.